Christmas! Welcome to the Road Cook. Today we have a little holiday special treat for you. Gonna make an old family favorite, well, my favorite. This recipe, first of all, this recipe is not for children. These are cookies for grown-ups. Let's get that straight right away. Okay, this recipe was originally a bourbon ball recipe. And you can use just bourbon in it. Actually, you can use pretty much any alcohol you want in it, any alcohol you like, or you can leave the alcohol out and make it family friendly. Your call. All right. Originally, it was a bourbon ball recipe. My mother changed it into what she called rum balls, but it was actually a blend. She would blend Jack Daniels with dark rum, 50-50. I loved them. I never made it past more than 3 of them. They are rather robust. The recipe says to make them 3 days in advance to allow the flavors to merge. The recipe also says they're only good for about 2 weeks. Here's your disclaimer. My mother would make these, again with 50-50 Jack Daniels dark rum. She'd make them in June. She'd put them into glass pickle jars, put them in a cool dark pantry, and let them sit there for the better part of 6 months. And the flavor was outstanding. They're delicious, but like I said, they got a bite. So, original recipe, 3 days in advance, good for only 2 weeks. Now you know. My mom, screw that. Make them, store them in a cool, dark place for up to 6 months. Today we're going to take it a little farther. I'm going to put my own flair on it, my own flavor choices. Today we're going to be using Sailor Jerry rum and Rittenhouse rye. Delicious rye if you like it, very affordable. Both of these, yes. The rye, Sailor Jerry is 92 proof. The rye is 100 proof. So these are even more powerful than Mom's. I'm only saying, viewer discretion, viewer beware. Also in this video, I'm making a double batch because that's what I need. In the description below, I will put the original recipe with my variation and Mom's variation for a single batch. This is a double batch. Alright, so we're going to start out with vanilla wafers. And these are no bakes, so I mean, you know how I am with the holidays. Let's make it easy, let's make it fast, let's get back to celebrating. That's the way I look at it. I don't want to spend the entire holiday season in the kitchen. Alright, so 2 boxes of vanilla wafers. Again, this is a double recipe. And you need to smash these fine. They need to be fine. This is going to be your base here. Already see a mess coming. You know how big red is. One on this monster, well, it's powerful. All right. We're gonna go ahead and put the screen on. I don't know exactly how much the screen on these things are. I'd have designed it different, but. And be careful because they're going to fly all over the place at first. Not that bad. I'm going to let that mat. I might have to put them in the food processor. I'm not sure how well this is going to smash them up. While that's doing that, I'm going to prep our pecans. We're going to need 2 cups of finely chopped pecans. Yeah, I can see already. Yeah, this is going to have to go through the food processor. But, yeah, I might as well do them first. Okay. Sometimes we have to change plans. That's all right. So we'll go ahead and we'll knock out the vanilla wafers in the food processor right quick and just dump them back in the bowl. It's all easy peasy. Little at a time, otherwise you're going to have a mess. That's got attitude. I like attitude. Nothing to it. Nothing to it. All right, a little more. I noticed when I was getting my ingredients together, the original recipe, which calls for 1 box of these vanilla wafers, also says 12-ounce box. Well, this is a very old recipe. Today's standards, you don't have a 12-ounce box. They charge you for a 14-ounce box and sell you a 10-ounce box. You with me there? So, I didn't catch this until I was setting up for the shoot. I'm going to go ahead with the 2 10-ounce boxes, but if I find that my final product is gooey, runny, tacky, I'll just grind up some graham crackers and throw them in there. I don't have any more vanilla wafers, but I have graham crackers. It's still a nice sweet cookie. You know how we are. We improvise. Me and my volume, you know how it is. When I first started doing these, I did an entire shoot and I forgot to turn my microphone on. Needless to say, I'm a tad paranoid. Okay, so there's my vanilla wafers. Okay, now I need, checking again, 2 cups of pecans. I'm always double checking recipes and stuff like that. Just like the old carpenters will tell you, you measure twice and you cut once. You can always add more heat, but you can't take it away. And as the great Mac Daddy would say, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Alright, 2 cups of pecans. I think I'm going to roast up the rest of these later on. Oh, shoot. Well, there's a couple for the Jolly Man. That's one. And that's a runaway. Okay. And the recipe says to finely chop the pecans, and I do want them, to be pretty fine. But I myself like a little bit more texture, so you can tell there's a nut in there. This is a no-bake cookie, and when it's done, it's going to be a little round ball. So I want, I need the pecans to be fine, but I don't want them to be dust. So I'm going to pulse them a bit, see what we can get. Yeah, one more. Yeah, See, it's they're chopped, they're fine, but they're not dust. They still have a little bit of shape, a little bit of body, couple of chunks. Um, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, there's my 2 cups of pecans. You know, I forgot to bring my spatula over here. Oh well, we'll go to a little one. Clean as you go, clean as you go. Alright, I don't think we're grinding anything else. No, okay. So, to this, I am going to need 2 cups of powdered sugar. I like to get all my dry ingredients first and give them a spin, and then we add the wet to it. Notice how I keep my stuff, my flours, sugars, whatever, inside a Ziploc bag. We don't have critter issues here, but it helps to make sure we don't. I can see a mess of coming. Alright, 2 cups of powdered sugar. See, I think that's what my mother was planning on. Hard to say. Kind of a mysterious woman in her own way. But by storing them a long time in the pantry, there's a lot of sugar in here. There's confectioner sugar, there's Karo syrup, and then there's the alcohols. And I personally think that they continue to ferment, age, grow. I said they were pretty darn strong. You know, feel free to adjust your alcohol level, bring it down. I wouldn't bring it up, you know, if you're hardcore, I wouldn't bring the alcohol level up because you're going to change the consistency of the cookie. But you can bring it down or leave it out, and I don't think it would be any issue. If you leave it out completely and it's a little dry, add a little more Karo syrup. Okay, let's see. We got the wafers, the choker, the pecans. Okay, I need a 1/4 cup. The regular recipe is 2 tablespoons of cocoa, unsweetened cocoa. So I need 4 tablespoons. 4 tablespoons is, drum roll please, 1/4 cup. Thank you for stopping by. I'd love to learn how to make chocolate, but I understand it's very complicated and kind of icky. Alright. Clean as you go. That was a 1/4 cup, right? No. Yeah. Alright. That should be it for the dry ingredients. Double check, double check, double check. Dun, 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 dun. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Alright, so now I'm going to give my dry ingredients a spin. Put on my shroud because I just don't trust it. Oh, that's not bad. Get everything happy. Alright, now Karo syrup. I would love to pour it in, like through the chute or something while it's spinning, but if you ever work with Karo syrup, it's like paste, and it's not going to be happy. It's going to take a little bit. Alright, so I need a 1/2 cup. I'm going to get everything dirty today. Okay. I'm going to need a 1/2 cup of light Karo syrup. If you want a very strong rum flavor, like if you're sticking with just rum or something dark and you like that robust dark flavor, then use a dark heavy Karo syrup. If you don't like using Karo syrup, I'm not a fan. I'm just trying to stick by the recipe. but Karo syrup is hydrogenated corn syrup, not particularly good for arterial passages. If you don't want to go that way, molasses would probably work, honey would probably work. Might have to cut the volume down a tad. Okay, so I need half cup corn syrup. Glug, 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 glug. Alright, so that brings us, I think, to the alcohol. I'm going to double check. Dun, 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 dun. Right, okay. So the recipe calls for, the single recipe calls for a half cup total. So of course the double recipe is 1 cup. So I'm going to run a half cup of rye and a half cup of rum. Another good choice might be like Kraken, if you want to go with just a dark rum. I'm going with the spice rum just for the flavors. I'm a Sailor Jerry fan when it comes to spice rum. There's nothing wrong with Captain Morgan's or any of the Caribbean spice rums, just not my palate. I prefer the flavors of the Sailor Jerry. To me, aren't quite as syrupy sweet. They're a little bit more adult. That's, again, that's just choice. Half cup of rye. I love that stuff. That's another thing, now that I smell the rye, Mom's Rum Balls, where she combined the bourbon and the rum, they had a very unique smell to them. Very pleasant. I could sit there and just smell the jar all day long. It was very, very nice. Alright, come on, behave. I'm forever arguing with inanimate objects. I don't know what it is. And that, friends and neighbors, should be about it. Of course, I got Karo syrup everywhere. Oh, that's lovely. This next step, I lost my blue glove in the blue light. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, see, it looks wet to me. It looks very wet to me. So, I'm going to need to, yeah. Okay. Let me pause you guys for a second. Be right back. Alright, I went and got my graham crackers. They were in the other pantry. So now, if you think about it, the original recipe was for 12 ounces of the crushed cookies. 2 boxes were each 10 ounces. So on a double recipe, I need 4 more ounces of product, which is a 1/4 cup. Half cup. No. Yes, half cup. Way early in the morning. Okay, so I got some graham crackers in here, and we're going to kind of figure this out. Ooh, cookies crushed easier. But that's okay, we're tough. And this, again, it's a perfect example of improvising. Sometimes you just don't have what you need and you got to wing it. Graham crackers, a nice sweet cookie. We need about a half cup. Got a little bit more. 3/4 of a cup. Let's see how that's going to do for us. If that still comes out a little wet, I'll probably just leave it. The next step will be rolling them in some powdered or in some regular sugar, and that too will help them dry up. Okay, see what we got here. Yeah, that's much better. I can tell that already. They're still a little gooey, but that's kind of the nature. And I think that might be a reason that Mom did what she did, too. All right. We're going to go with that. Yeah. I mean, they're still wet and a touch tacky, but you can handle them, and that's the main thing. You have to be able to handle them. You can see we got a nice gooey mess. And it smells incredible. I don't know if you can imagine the blending of a rum, a rye, and the chocolate. It's just, smells like every drunkard's fantasy. All right. So from this point, what we want to do, you can do them with a spoon. You can do them by hand. You can use a little melon ball scoop. I like the melon ball scoop. This is the basic gist of it. I've got regular granulated sugar. I got my melon ball scoop. I'm going to scoop out some cookie. Kind of roll it around a little bit, put it in that sugar. And the sugar, it's going to help to absorb that extra tacky, and it'll help them hold together. Should have put it on a brown plate. But that's your final product. That's all there is to it. It's simple. No bake cookie, a little bit of sugar to cover it up, whatever alcohols you want, a holiday treat. Remember to age them for about 3 days. Oh my. As Bill Engvall would say, that's a golf shot. They're still very soft. So what I'm going to do, that's pretty much the end of the video. You can roll them up on your own. But I will take this and put it in the refrigerator for a couple hours. Let it firm up. Also, alcohol evaporates at a low temperature. It's evaporating right now, and that's fine. It will take the edge off. That's where the aging comes and mellows them. But even that right out of the bowl was not harsh. It has a wonderful flavor if you like that alcohol chocolate combination. All right. And like I said, that's about all there is to it. Now, I want to say one last thing before I go. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed holiday. After Christmas is New Year's. Things have been really crazy all around the world. Tempers are flaring. Stress levels are quite insane. For many decades now in my house, we call New Year's Eve amateur night. For reasons beyond my comprehension, this is when people become really, really stupid. Do the world a favor, do your families a favor. Spend New Year's Eve in a quiet party at home. Well, it doesn't have to be quiet, but spend New Year's Eve at a party with friends where you're not on the road, where you can stay in one place, leave the bars alone. That's where the amateurs go. In my years, I've lost too many people and seen too much tragedy. New Year's Eve should be a special, beautiful evening for the start of a new hopeful year. Stay home, stay in small groups, stay away from the bars. Have a wonderful, blessed, great holiday season. Merry Christmas to everybody from the Road Cook. Eat well, be wonderful to each other, and have a great, great life. See you maybe next week, maybe next year.